All right, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 of the best things about having your own business. Let's get into it.
This is how Evans beat sounds. Hey, we're giving hell a beat down.
So, we run multiple businesses. We have an HVAC business here in Southwest Florida. I have a Christian apologetics business where we talk about a Christian education. I have these YouTube channels, which some of them are separate businesses as well. So what are some of the most beneficial things about having your own business? The first one is time freedom. And I'll use the majority of my examples will be from my HVAC business because we've had that now for about 8 years. So I've had a lot of time to kind of sink my feet into that business. So time freedom is a beautiful luxury of owning a business. So first of all, however, you can run your business however you want to, right? Here in Southwest Florida, there's a lot of HVAC companies that are 24-hour companies, right? There's HVAC companies that run from say 7 or 8 in the morning until 7 or 8 at night, okay, with after hours services. There's HVAC companies that work on the weekends. I didn't want to do any of those things. When I was growing up, my dad had an HVAC company and he worked a lot. And I think growing up, I wish I saw him more, to be honest. And I didn't want to run my business that way. And so luckily I had a mentor that who has an HVAC business that right before I took over, he told me, hey, listen, you can run your business however you want to do. If you want to have a 24-hour service, you can do that. But if you want to shut the phones off at 5 o'clock and not be bothered, you can do that as well. I remember times, and again, when I was growing up, where my dad, at after 5 or 6 o'clock, we'd be maybe at a dinner or something, and he would get a call and he'd have to run out on it. He's trying to help the customers out, but I did not want that in my own life. We don't run our business that way. Basically, we run a 9 to 5 type of business, and the weekends we're technically closed, although I do make exceptions for it. If it's, the heat of the summer and customer doesn't have any air conditioning, then I do make exceptions, but basically primarily our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And we do that knowing that, sometimes we're going to lose some business. Sometimes there's going to be situations where we get a call and we're at dinner or something and I'm not going to run out on it. And so in those cases, we might lose some business, or a weekend call, say we want to do something for the weekend with the family. Family is so important to me personally and to us as a family. And I don't want to miss out on those great family adventures and opportunities because I'm tied down to the business, right? I want to own the business. I don't want the business to own me. And so you can run a business that way, okay? Again, on the weekends, we might want to go out of town. We might want to go on vacation, right? I don't want to wait till we are retired in order to enjoy our lives, right? Because we want to enjoy our lives while we're here, right? I hear so many stories. We have a lot of elderly customers, and a lot of times people retire. I'm sure you've heard the stories in your own life. Someone retires at 65. They've worked their whole lives to get to this point where they retire. And then 6 months later, they have some heart attack or fatal situation and they die. So, me personally, I want to make sure we're putting away for the future, but also enjoying our lives now as well. So, we're not open on the weekends. We're not open after 5 o'clock. Although again, I will make exceptions sometime. But if we want to go on vacation, I'll give on my voicemail something that says, hey, if you need HVAC immediate service, if it can't wait, call this company. So that way the customer still gets taken care of. But if we want to go on a vacation, we go on a vacation. And so again, that's the time freedom that having a business allows you to do. And again, there's a downside to that, because guess what? They might go, say we're out of town or on a cruise or something, and then someone calls for HVAC. They call this other AC company, and then they end up using them from now on. Well, that's the downside to having that sort of a lifestyle, but it's also what is required if you want to have time freedom. Some other examples of time freedom, because it's such a big one with HVAC, is who says you have to start at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock? Maybe you start your first call at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. Say you want to have more time with your kids, or you want to, before taking them to school or something, you want to have breakfast with them. That's a rewarding thing to be able to do. And if you're running out the door 8 o'clock, maybe you can't do that. But if you have your own business, then you can start whenever you want to. So you could start your first call at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and that gives you that time with your kids in the morning to have breakfast and to sit down with them. So there's a benefit. If something comes up, a medical situation, and you have to run on it, you can basically cancel that time block and go and take care of your family in that situation, and you're just not available for that time. Having your business definitely gives you a lot of time freedom and time flexibility. Now, you still have to come up with that money, right, in order to do that. Okay, number 2 benefit of having your own business is that you don't have to depend on someone else or the success of someone else in order to get a paycheck. Now, that's sort of a double-sided coin or whatever, because a lot of people prefer to depend on other people for their paycheck. So not having to depend on someone else and how successful they are for your paycheck, maybe it's a good thing for you if you're a go-getter, which a lot of business owners are, but that could also be a bad thing, right? Because now you have to find a way to make that money to pay for your bills that week, as opposed to just getting a paycheck from your boss. So that could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing as well. But if you're a business owner, if you are a go-getter like that and want to basically set up your own way, want to, pave your own path, then you're probably the type of person that would rather depend on their own efforts in order to bring that about. And of course, as a business owner, you are going to get ownership type of money, right? I've heard of people in the past that do tutoring work, and maybe as a tutor, they're making 10, 15 bucks an hour. But guess what? The tutoring company that they're working for is charging $125 per hour for that tutoring. And so, some of those people see that and they're like, well, hey, I want to be making $125. But in order to do that, they have to go out and they have to market the company, and they have to knock on doors, and they have to get rejection, whereas a tutor, you just walk in and the client's already there for you. But as a business owner, you will make ownership money, right? If I'm a technician working at, say, an HVAC job, I'm making maybe 20 bucks an hour, 25 bucks an hour, whereas the company itself for that time is making, say it's a $99 call, the company is making $99 or $125 per hour. However, of course, as the owner, you have to account for all the expenses, the workers' comp, the insurance, the truck expenses, and all of those things as well. So there's good things and bad things with either option. But one of the benefits definitely for myself is not having to depend on others in order for me to get a paycheck, but getting to go out and build that business myself. All right. And the third important thing for running your business is finding people who are further along in your business who can mentor you, and taking the opportunity to meet up with those people and see if they will give you some of their time and some of their expertise. People, you would be surprised, people are more willing than you would probably think to speak into your life, all right? Because we all come from nothing, right? If we have a company, we all started from zero at some point, and a lot of us had those people that spoke into our lives. I know I had, my dad, of course, that taught me everything I know about HVAC, as well as a lot of the business stuff he taught me. And then I had another mentor, friend of mine, Tim, who really poured into me. And so because of those things, when people come up to me and they want advice, I am more than willing to offer advice to them as well. So finding people who are further along in the business can be a huge benefit for you to not make the same mistakes that they made, and for you to be able to progress a lot quicker than you would normally be able to do on your own. So in my YouTube channels, if you'd like to know how much with 1,900 subscribers that YouTube paid me, check out that video right there, and we'll see you in the next one.
This is how heaven beats.